First Christos humans on planet Terra. Many millions of years ago, several founder metaterrestrial races from this universal system and beyond into the omniverse came together at the royal houses of Lyra. This meeting was for the purpose of contributing their most advanced genetic material in the creation of our first world, which is known as the planet Terra. The cosmic trinity are representations of the first, second, and third emanations of the God Source and thus, are the universal founders of this particular time matrix. The universal founders are non-dimensionalized solar body expressions from outside of the time matrix located in the pre-matter fields. The cosmic trinity protects the promise of ascension for all living things traveling in the universal time matrix, by ensuring they eventually are able to return to their source frequency and spiritual home at the end of evolution cycles. Returning back home into the zero-point field after completing the time matrix evolution cycles are the areas of non-dimensionalized realms, where the free cosmic Christos citizens travel and live in the highest creations that exist in the eternal God worlds. In the fifth harmonic universe, there is no dimensionalization into matter forms, therefore there is no planetary body or human form. In the fifth density, there is no time, and as the consciousness does not manifest into matter forms, this area is called prematter. To oversee the creation of the first world, the universal founders created a race in which to seed their consciousness through onto Terra, and this race is the Lyrans. The Lyrans utilized the genetic library of the metaterrestrial races to design the core manifestation template for the first seeding of the original human 12-strand DNA prototype, which was designed to be the guardian life forms intended to protect the planet Terra. The Lyrans further down stepped their consciousness into the next lower density in the third harmonic layers by creating another identity, and these race lines were designed to exist within the dimensional layers of the monadic spirit plane. This race was created by the Lyran founders to specifically oversee the projects of the Lyran Syrian genetic seedings occurring on Terra, and these particular groups are known as the Elohim. Further, the Syrian High Council was organized by and then appointed by the Lyrans to be the main overseers of seeding life on the planet Terra in next lower dimension, the second harmonic universe. The Lyrans and the Syrians brought the metaterrestrial genetic material together to create the first diamond sun template body in matter for the original Terrans, which is the original angelic human body that all Earth humans are actually genetically descended from. The Elohim acted in a supervisory role of protecting the Terran creation from the monadic spirit plane, while in the soul planes, the Syrian High Council orchestrated the genetic seedings from the second harmonic timelines. As the root races of planet Earth were originally seeded into subraces that sourced from 12 tribes, so it was the same for the first seeding on Terra. Over many millions of years, two distinctly opposing seed cultures emerged as infected by the AI programming of the neighboring Borga, the victim-victimizer software, which was designed to amplify extreme forces of polarity that were particularly effective for harvesting lush energy. The law of polarity was governed by the Gemini constellation, which downstepped mental body creations that were being generated from the AI mutations forming to reverse polarity signatures. Mutations started to form in which one group of Terrans started to be genetically slanted towards more aggression, domination over others, and service to self. This group formed into what eventually played out as the Atlanteans, a patriarchal dominating culture that was very mentalized and scientific. The other culture was much more passive, spiritual, and willing to capitulate through service to others. This group formed into what eventually played out as the Lemurians, a matriarchal culture that was very balanced with nature and was following the law of one. These cultural differences amplified into greater energy disturbances, which came to be the polarity schism, which was generating Terran genetic digression into the patriarchal group that wanted to fully dominate the others. Then, their scientists began dangerous experimentation with the planetary core power source, ignoring warnings from the others. To help restore unity consciousness to the planet and help harmonize the growing extremes in the divergent cultures, the Syrian High Council set up the Council of Mu. The Mu Council devoted themselves to the ancient wisdom practices, which were in alignment to the natural laws, the law of one. They spoke of the necessary attunement to nature and natural laws, and the need for polarity integration back into the 0 point. During the last stages of the conflicts which ultimately led to planetary destruction, a rebellion of several smaller wars broke out in protest of the decisions made in governance by the Syrian Council, that had been responsible to administer through the Council of Mu. At this time, the technological implications of the mind control being used by neighboring entities to convert humanity into slavery, and the impacts of the AI viral infection of victim-victimizer was not understood. These are the histories of the Syrian rebellions that generated rifts between the Syrian Anunnaki and the Syrian Elohims who based their oversight and decisions to be aligned with the law of one. The Syrian rebellions and the Anunnaki lineages refused to acknowledge the authority of the founders or the law of one, and this led to the cataclysm and the sequence of events which eventually destroyed the planet Terra. During the final stages of destruction, the planetary consciousness held within her exploded fragments were pulled into a black hole and came out the other side into an area which is effectively the lowest creation realms, the underworld layers of the Milky Way system. The entirety of the planet Terra's fragments and all her species were pulled into the lowest density of the time matrix, and reformed themselves as they emerged into the instruction set which formed into the solar system pattern which includes what we know of today as the planet Earth. Earth and all of her consciousness is the composite total of the exploded fragments of our first home planet seeded with divine human beings with 12-strand DNA, planet Terra. Without intervention from the founder races, our metaterrestrial family and those Christos races that serve the law of one, the consciousness fragments of the world soul of Terra, all of her root races and species would remain permanently fragmented and stuck in the lowest density, the underworld layers of the time matrix unable to evolve, ascend or eventually return home to the God worlds. Today, we are on the earth to continue this same archetypal journey for the sake of returning collective humanity back to their true spiritual home, reaching the same apex in the end of cycle timeline, where we are at the crossroads of evolution and making a choice for the direction of the future timeline. The major exception is that for the current incarnation on Earth, we have been given the blessings of the Christos mission. We are reaching an embodiment phase which correlates to the 7th cycle of the reclamation of Christos mission, in a plan for fulfilling the Paleodorian covenant. This has required many stations of identity traveling in multiple time cycles in order to finally embody the Christ consciousness layers through the 7 sacred sons cosmic principles of the universal creators. The beginning and the end all return back to Lyra. After the fall of Terra, the Lyran Syrian Council, Elohim, Pleiadians, the priests of Uar and other concerned citizens in the second harmonic universe contacted the Emerald Order for assistance, and a rescue mission was planned to retrieve the souls of Terra. This agreement is the reclamation of the Christos mission that sources directly from the original Paleodorian covenant that was set into motion millions of years ago. The Paleodorians agreed to be the first line of supporting evolution and reclamation of the inner spirit for all humanity, awakening in the first waves of the Ascension Plan to help lead the Terran souls on Earth back home. Many of them are known as the starseeds. These are a variety of spiritual families that are directly under the protectorate of the Emerald Order, and as a result have specific frequency-based signatures that can be recognized by other entities. These signatures serve as a warning of defenses of deflection to be utilized in full extent of what applies to the service of upholding cosmic order.